Hello, everybody. As always, thank you for watching. This is the American Doofus channel. The name of the show is Late Night America. And we've got breaking information, a shooting at Six Flags, Illinois. We've got a lot more to talk about, and we will get into all of that. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the share, hit that bell to notify when you're on or when I'm on. If you are a subscriber, and I thank you very much for doing so. And of course, the links to my 3 novels are in the description below the video. So let's get right to it and head to our breaking information. Again, it comes just north of Chicago, Illinois, and Gurney, Illinois is the name of the town. Active shooter at the Six Flags theme park there. Again, this is just north of Chicago and not very far from where the July 4th shooting took place in what was it? Hyde Park, Illinois. Right now, multiple authorities reposting to an active shooter at Six Flags, dozens of cop cars, multiple ambulances. And it appears from the earliest information is that what happened was a shooter entered the park, shot someone at the gate to the water park, the gate closest to the water park, then entered the park and fired off several more shots. We're going to take just a couple of seconds here and well, we're going to take a couple of seconds here. This is great doing this live. There we go. Here we go. And make sure we get the volume up. And give a couple of views. Again, this was just about 2 hours ago, now 3 hours ago, approximately 8 p.m. Eastern, actually 7:50 Eastern. I'm sorry, 7:50 Central and 8:50 Eastern. So it was just a couple of hours ago. And again, this is in Chicago suburb, a short drive from the Highland Park, where the shooting happened on July 4th. So not the way that I had wanted necessarily to start out the episode. I had some other things planned as the top story, but there have been breaking news come along that and this is the latest news. I'm going to hop over into chat and make sure that did not. Hello to everyone. Did that echo or was the sound okay on that video? Hello, Thunder. Hello, Sissy. Hello to everybody out there watching wherever you're at. Just want to make sure that our volume is working because we had some problem before. So I'll just leave this running in the background and pop back over here into the chat. It's good. Awesome. Okay. That was my hope. Because sometimes if you've never watched the show before, thank you for watching. What we do here is we give you news from the source as close as we possibly can. We like to have footage from the ground. We're kind of an underground channel, the underground bottom of YouTube source for news and information and education and fun and frivolity. That's what we like to do here in case you've never joined us. And awesome. It's good. All right. Um, there we go. So, a shooting. We don't know at this time how many casualties there are. We do know it's listed as a mass shooting, and I have pretty solid information. There are at least a half a dozen ambulances that were called to the scene. Um, the severity's been elevated, so some reports on the ground unconfirmed that the guy had, of course, an assault rifle and shot a guard at the gate, and then shot somebody at the wave pool, and then entered the actual park and emptied the clip. So that is unconfirmed, but nonetheless, it is confirmed that there is a shooting at Six Flags, Illinois, just north. It's about halfway between um, Milwaukee and Chicago. Um, I happen to have been there one time, and quite honestly, it's not the best area, to be honest with you. Even though you might think downtown Chicago is the worst possible place to be. Um, that's not always the case. There are some really nice places in downtown Chicago, and there are some pretty sketchy places in the suburbs and outskirts, to be honest with you, going all the way over into northwestern Indiana. And so we'll have to wait and see. Is this something that is um, a local issue that just happened to play out in a theme park? Is this another mass shooter, um, random mass shooter, I should say? And again, we'll just have to see um, how that all plays out. I had I had like the story that's going to be like number four was going to be the lead story for tonight, um, because it impacts the area that I'm in directly. But this impacts maybe even more so. Uh, Incoming solar explosion. Okay, the title is just to try to get people to watch. There is no solar explosion. There is a coronal mass ejection, as we'll see coming out there. Again, right there, it's right here. There you go. Okay, and then we've shown this before. Um, this will show the path of the plasma radiation, which is basically what a CME is. And there you see it. So it's going to impact Earth probably again on Tuesday, just like we had just a week ago. So if this continues to happen, we'll have to start questioning whether it's a pattern or not. But nonetheless, a coronal mass ejection earlier today, and that is where. Um, okay, that is where you'll see it hit. There's sunspots getting ready to rotate towards us. And as always, we'll keep an eye on all of that for everything. And again, thank you for watching. If you're just tuning in, the top story, Six Flags, Illinois, site of a mass shooting. We don't have many more details other than that at this time, as far as verified details. And if you happen to be on YouTube, feel free to hop in the chat. And if you're watching on one of the other platforms, leave a message, hit the like button, share, whatever it may be. If you're watching here, hit the subscribe, like, share, and notification, and we'll go on to a couple of stories. If you got questions or comments or stuff, again, hop in the chat. Okay. We've got a few weather stories to touch on. I said probably about a week ago that everything was lining up for a pretty major earthquake out near Japan. It wasn't Japan, it was just north of New England or New Zealand. However, it's on the same glacial boundary that the Japanese plate is on. So we'll see now. What you see here, the red lines telling you where the energy will be radiating out to. This is important to know for potential tsunamis as well as potential vibrations once it crosses the Pacific Ocean. Of course, the waves will be the vibrations will be much less intense, but they could be coming from a different direction than normal, and lots of things could be in place. So we'll keep an eye on all of that as well. And one final quick thing to share, weather-wise. This says not for broadcast, and I'm not broadcasting this, I'm streaming this. However, you watching live may be the only ones that see this, because if they say, copyright strike, I'll go in and edit this out so that the rest of the video can be seen on replay. And I'm not going to play much of this. And again, the program is under the Fair Use Copyright Act, and this is for educational purposes, so people understand how quick flash floods can happen and the dangers they can possibly bring. In Corpus Christi, Texas, and this was today. It doesn't take long for the water dispersal systems to become overwhelmed in some areas. And again, this is from Limestorms Media. Go to their site and check out the rest of the video if you'd like to, and give them a like and a subscribe to as well. So hop over here again. Alabama had one, but it was 2.74 miles from the town of Hazel Green. An earthquake, I'm assuming, Sissy, because I'm not surprised. And coming up this week, I'll show again how the plates are laid out in the United States, and how the theory is that the earthquakes follow the boundaries of the plates, which makes a lot of sense. And the vibrations keep intensifying. It happened 5/16, August 13th. Okay. I'm not surprised again. And we've mentioned, don't be surprised if there's not a 4 or above coming to California soon, the California area. Anyway, there was one off of the Baja Peninsula. So that's kind of the California area, but don't be surprised. And let's hope that that's not the case. Okay. I'll tell you what, let's go to our quick run through of other stories. Adam Kinzinger, who is a Republican congressman from Illinois, tweeted, "Everyone dreams of having a chance to stand alone against evil. And if you get that chance, even fewer do it. I'm with Team Liz Cheney." So brave Republicans are lining up against the more extremist Republicans, and a division in their party. Again, it's amazing to me that Liz Cheney's dad, Dick Cheney, is called a rhino. When he was George W.'s vice president, he was anything but a rhino, believe me. Speaking of the more extreme in the Republican Party. Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida says that our veterans have a wealth of knowledge and experience they can bring to bear in the classroom. For too long, the requirements to be a teacher have been too rigid. Comment: when DeSantis says teacher requirements are too rigid, what he's actually saying is it needs to be easier to install unqualified teachers who can indoctrinate children using conservative ideology and revisionist history. I think the comment is probably pretty true. Slavery didn't happen. We're not gonna teach critical race theory. We're not, all the problems in the West were the Native Americans' fault, not the Indian, or not the white man, or it'll be, the Native Americans always welcomed the white man. There was, all of that was made up for TV and stuff. And you can ask George Custer about that. But I ended last night's show saying, they're just crazy people out there. And little did I know that this person crashed into a fundraising event for people that had families that had lost family members in a Pennsylvania fire. And he crashed into the crowd, killing one person there. And then he fled that scene and went to Nescopic in Pennsylvania and killed another woman there. So head on a swivel, situational awareness, know where you're at, know how to get away if you absolutely have to, know where the exits are. Don't be paranoid, be prepared, and don't panic. And a man dies after he crashed his car into the barricade in front of the United States Capitol. All this was today. Crashed his car inside the barricade and then fired gunshots both in the air. And into his car, which was already burning from the crash, and then killed himself. No other injuries were reported from the incident. So the craziness, talked to a friend today earlier, and I said the crazy train is rolling and it's just going to keep gathering steam, and that I would rather have Cat Stevens' peace train rolling. And the response was, would you want Ozzy driving the peace or driving the crazy train right now? I would probably rather have Ozzy than Roger Stone and Steve Bannon and Alex Jones, because they're trying to get a section of our country to go to war against itself, and that is just asinine. They're concerned about losing their freedoms, and if you really want to lose your freedom, start a civil war so the government puts martial law upon all of us and none of us have any freedom. Stop all this. Stop all this madness we're seeing right here. Trump rally. Not that they don't have a right to do it, but they're upset that a criminal, an alleged criminal, who just happens to be a former president of the United States, and the crimes aren't just based on this Mar-a-Lago serving of a court-approved search warrant. The crimes are tax evasion in New York, tampering with elections in Georgia. So when I say an accused criminal. There's more than one charge he's accused of. And they're upset that he's being treated like a criminal. My question is, how did the government let him have all those documents for 18 months? Why is it taking 18 months to do this? As you can see, Long Island, New York was the site of a significant Trump rally today, including the guy with the trifold hat, the guy that wanted to get up and give a speech and look like one of the founding fathers, I guess. Anyway, so again, thank you for watching, those of you that are watching, and feel free to hop in the comments. I said that I had several other stories that popped up that took away from the fact that my initial story was going to be about my home state. And, you know, there aren't a lot of white guys on the internet that tell you the truth about race relations, about injustices in the systems, and in an actuality, our freedoms could indeed be lost. The easiest way it will happen is through conflict within our own country, domestic terrorism, domestic extremism. And we're on the verge of that. It'd be really nice to let some of the air pressure out, take some of the steam out of it. But there aren't many of us that are going to tell you these kind of things. Most white guys you see on the internet are telling you exactly the same thing the Trump regime has been wanting said for the past 6 years. And a lot of good people hear nothing but that and believe nothing but that. And there's a lot of fear and a lot of ignorance. And I'm ignorant on a lot of things, okay? I'm not saying ignorance as a derogatory statement. I'm saying ignorance in that, you know, we want to restore the Constitution. Well, okay, what part of the Constitution have you had taken away from you? Unless you're a woman. But we're talking about white men here. 50% of the population lost a right not very long ago. And why am I bringing all this up now? Because Eli Lilly, provider of numerous drugs, medications, including insulin, and has the plant where Eli Lilly started is less than 3 miles from where I'm sitting right now. And they have announced that they're going to start looking for other states to expand into because they cannot recruit people to come to Indiana because of the abortion ban. And if you want to hear it in 6 minutes and 14 seconds, Bo of the Fifth Column. He doesn't need me, you know, giving him views, but it's worth the view. Because one point he made in there that will ring true in a lot of red states. The companies that are big enough that can potentially leverage it will do so. They'll say, you know, look, we cannot expand here, meaning that we're going to have to relocate eventually because we want to keep employing people. And there are all these little companies that can't come out and say that. They'll just move. Because not all these conservative women really like the idea of being told what to and what not to do with their bodies. And even if they're against abortion wholeheartedly, they still don't want to be told what to do with their bodies. And they shouldn't be. So it's going to have an impact economically. But that's the only right that's been taken away so far. Again, if you really want to have something to complain and moan about, go ahead and start conflict. So the government has an excuse to put martial law on, and you'll find out you'll find out what it means not to have rights, and you'll find out that the Supreme Court may not have many teeth when it comes to the military. Now, when it comes to Donald Trump, they might. I could easily see Trump never facing federal charges because he's stacked the Supreme Court and they throw it out. It doesn't mean that he's not going to face tax evasion in Illinois. He's facing it. Doesn't mean he's not going to face election fraud or election tampering in Georgia. He's facing it. And if it wouldn't go to the Supreme Court, he's facing some pretty serious accusations. Treason. Potentially selling information. It doesn't matter who he sold it to. He betrayed all of us. And yet some of you think he's a hero. He's no hero. He's an overblown P.T. Barnum. He's a con man. He's a sucker born every minute man. And some good people have fallen for it, in my opinion. So, Eli Lilly actively looking for new spots to do business. How many other states are going to be impacted the same way? We will see. We will see. I'd rather have Ozzy. Yeah, I'd rather have Ozzy driving the crazy train than the people that are going to actually be at the controls. And again, I'd rather have the peace trade. The Hunter Biden. I wish they'd just go ahead and arrest him. There's got to be something on that laptop. Just get that out of the way. Hunter Biden was never president of the United States, never held an elected office. He's sure not president now, and he's persona non grata everywhere, probably at Thanksgiving dinner in his own mom and dad's house. So I just wish they'd act on that, if there's something there. Let's see, where are we at? Okay. This came up, actually, this was 2 days ago. And we're going to play a little bit of Roland Martin Unfiltered.
You do if you pay thousands of dollars for your child's birthday party, and when you showed up, the public facility says the party you paid for is canceled because they don't feel comfortable. That's what happened to a Black Missouri family. This video here has gone viral.
This is how are you Grace? You can talk right here. You can talk wherever you want to talk. So you're telling me that you canceled our parties because of what?
Because of the outreach that it got on social media. It's not something that LSPR is comfortable hosting.
Okay. So, because of social media, the outrage on social media, I don't know who would be exactly creating an outrage on social media over a Black family having a birthday party at a swimming pool, unless they were people that were very against the Black community for some reason. But they did, and they stopped it. And I honestly, if the people that call themselves patriots, I understand they believe they're doing the right thing. I understand that. If they would just take a step back, if they would look another direction other than Fox News, if they would talk to some actual members of the Black community, they would find out how much in common they might have with the Black community. Just something to think about, because they are saying the people that call themselves patriots. I say that because I consider myself a patriotic person, but the label patriot means something very extreme. Just like the meaning of the flag is starting to change for a lot of people. I still love the flag, always will, but it's been devalued, as we talked about in previous episode. But anyway, if you really want to talk about suppressing rights and about treatment and about overreach, seriously talk to some people in the reform movement. You call them BLM and turn that into a derogatory thing, and partially justifiably so, because the organization BLM was different than the movement that Black Lives Matter, in my opinion. Nonetheless, that's the past. Here's where you're at now. If you really want to make change, drop the Trump crap. Drop the Republican crap. Get on the average American, an inclusive average America. That's where the actual power is at. That's where the actual vote determines. It's just something to think about on a Sunday night, 11:34 Standard Time, the 14th day of August. Now, I say all this about unity and about, hey, we will do much better talking than we ever will fighting. We will accomplish much more by being inclusive than by wanting to kill each other. And this is an important part, because so many people have taken on the label Christian without ever knowing what the faith is supposed to be and how you're supposed to act as a Christian. There's going to be division there. There already is division there. But because they hold that label, it's easier for them to say anybody that doesn't think like me is a demon. And that dehumanizes people, and that makes it easier to want to destroy them. The people that are behind all this, the patriots, if you will, a lot of them are good people. Again, it's fear, and it is ignorance. And I'm ignorant about a lot of things. The difference is I try to learn. I try to understand. I don't spread the ignorance. I don't claim authority as on something that I'm ignorant about. And a lot of people in that patriot movement do, including the United States Constitution, including the Emergency Powers Act, the Bill of Rights. I got a whole episode on the Constitution. It took an hour and 45 minutes, under an hour 45 minutes, and that includes fun breaks. If you've never read the Constitution, honestly, be honest with yourself. If you've never read it, go check that episode out when this one's done. And we're getting through this one here a little quicker than I thought it would be. All right. We have been following the 1776 Restoration Movement. And a lot of people had questioned, why are you following this? This is this is a church, basically a small church that's trying to get members, and they're trying to, it's a patriotic group. And I said, this is not, they're not what they appear. And I'm giving, I saw this, actually, I think 2 days ago. And the place I saw it asked me not to share when I saw it. But this is from the site Just a Lazy Gamer, and we talk about him a lot. Of course, this isn't a 1776 exclusive channel by any stretch of the imagination. This Lazy Gamer and a couple of others are, all they do is follow the 1776 stuff. So if you really want to get into some backstory and all that, I've been trying to get somebody to come on, and I've got a couple of people. We just haven't worked out the schedule yet. But Just a Lazy Gamer is a good place to go. And he released this LLC filing for the Freedom Outlaws LLC. Freedom Outlaws is a outlaw motorcycle club. And he deleted the addresses, as probably a good thing to do. But Dennis Yarberry, who is Big D in the movement, is one of the founders, along with Marcus Kopic. And Marcus Kopic is the level 3 sex offender, the child molester, if you will, that the opposition has been out there protesting about for about the last probably months. Yeah, been over a month since 1776 went into DC, I believe, on the 5th or 6th of July, and then went out last week. So if you want to be updated, Just a Lazy Gamer is the site to go to on the 1776 stuff. I want to play one more thing from the 1776 storyline, if you will. And this is Lori Arnold that we see right here. Lori is from Indiana and has lived in Texas, blah, 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 blah. She is outside of, she was at the time of this taping, outside of Bunker Hill, West Virginia, protesting the 1776 movement, along with Defender of Ants. So Lori Arnold, Defender of Ants, you can check out either one of those YouTube pages to get more in depth. But I want to play for you this just little tiny sound bite from Lori Arnold. It's Lori Arnold, it's Defender of Ants. Those are the two primary at Bunker Hill at the moment. Anarchy Princess, this is in Washington, D.C. With, let's see, who else was involved? Whistle Girl and Bicycle Girl and Telescope, of course. Who am I forgetting? The Squirrels. This group came together and came together for a short time and with one purpose, and they've kind of separated and went their own separate ways. They all agree on the one thing: they are against pedophiles. Now, Lori and Anarchy Princess were out last night at 2:30 in the morning protesting at Bunker Hill, which I thought was incredibly risky, to say the least. But They had rocks thrown at them. There's threats in the chat that next step is going to be marbles from slingshots. So we are going to keep an eye on all of this because it isn't how it appears. What is it? We're not sure yet. We're still digging on that. But we're going to keep observing this. So just listen to this.
Yeah, because I was just gotten up from my late night experience when I saw the ant and was talking to him and decided to come down here and help him. There are some things going on that you guys just don't know about with everybody. There is a psychopath that is coming after us women of the Suicide Squad right now. So I'm not going to talk anymore about it unless he keeps coming, and that would not be good. And so we've been dealing with that and some other things. We've been at the camp. I've been at the campgrounds. Me and AP went camping at Burt Lake campgrounds, and so yeah. Oh, listen to. Oh.
So it is a dangerous situation, and again, you can either hashtag 1776RM will get you the side of the get you the story of 1776, and run back a couple of moments there, and I listed most of the Jersey JJ, I think his page or his channel is Jersey J. Lori Arnold, Anarchy Princess, Telescope, Red Squirrel, Freedom Squirrel, and Defender of Ants are the main streamers of the, and that's basically what this counter protest is a bunch of streamers. They've been very effective, and in all honesty, this guy named Telescope kind of taught them how to properly get the message out there with signs, having some experience with protesting issues and social justice, etc. Because you got to realize the white right wing has never really had anything to protest about. They don't know how to protest. What they know how to do is sit on their computer and type into chats, get a job, get off the street, go home, get a job. Don't these people work? And you saw all those comments. Well, now you're seeing that some white people are thinking that if we don't get out here, we're going to lose all of our rights. And they firmly believe that. I personally don't believe that, as I've said numerous times. However, I believe that they believe that. Now, the secret, or not a secret, the challenge is to get them to look another direction, because QAnon or Fox News or InfoWars or whatever, you're looking the same direction and you're only seeing one thing. And if you don't control your mind, somebody else will. And when you're only looking and seeing one thing, it's real easy to control people's minds. And what did the Nazis teach? It's a lot easier to control when they think they're making the decision out of their own free will. Let me pull up what the actual quote is real quick here, because oh no, there we go. All right, I thought I have. All right, I don't know if this is going to work or not, but we'll give it a shot. Well, Let's see if it pops up. It does. If you tell a lie big enough, keep repeating it, it will eventually people will eventually come to believe it. The Trump people started saying before the election even happened that if he didn't win, it was because it was stolen. The lie had already started before the election even happened. And the lie has been going on now for 2 years. And a lot of people believe it. And they believed the lies that have come after that, because you have to keep telling a lie like a carrot to get the donkey to move. You gotta have a carrot out there to try to get the movement to go forward. So you got to keep telling lies and accuse the other side of that which you are guilty. Propaganda works best when those who are being manipulated are confident that they are acting on their own free will. Just think about that. Is that a possibility? Just think of it. If you're on the far right, before you go get yourself killed or kill somebody else, just think about this for a second. Is it possible that they've been lying to you this whole time? Is it possible you're really pissed off at the wrong people? Is it possible they're laughing at you in private while coming out on stage and giving you yeah, I love you. I love you. Is it possible you've been conned? Nobody likes to face up to that. And many people can't face up to it. But I think the good ones will at least look at that and say, how come no other president has ever been caught with documents at their residences? Because they've always done the right thing and turned them into the National Archive. It is vitally important for the government, in Trump's mind, for Trump to repress dissent. Think about how he handled his cabinet and the people around him. Anybody that said anything that he didn't agree with were gone. Anybody that would dare oppose him were gone. He wanted to hang Mike Pence. Of course, I ran for Congress against Mike Pence. For those of you that don't know about that, in Indiana's 6th district, starting in 2006. So I'll tell you a little secret. I hate his politics, but Mike Pence is okay. I wouldn't sit down and have a beer with him, but I don't wish him any ill will. And I sure wouldn't want to see him get hanged. It's vitally important for the state to repress dissent, and for truth is the mortal enemy of the lie. The truth is, Donald Trump got beat, and he got beat by Joe Biden. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe he's just so embarrassed that he got beat by Joe Biden that he can't give it up, or he's incredibly delusional and therefore really dangerous, or he's so narcissistic that he can't believe people don't love him. It is vitally important for the state to repress dissent, for the truth is the mortal enemy of the lie, and thus the greatest enemy of the state. How many times? How many lies? I mean, you can Google that. It's been fact checked. It's been fact checked and hashtagged and discussed everywhere. All right. Hop over here into the comments. It has definitely unified the Republican Party. Sean, the American Patriots, good to see you. Mark Allen, how are you? I've always said if your religion or your cause requires that you hurt or kill people, please start with yourself. 6 years and 60 million, not one crime has ever been proven against Trump. better come up with better lies. That's for a whole nother episode, but okay, you go ahead and hold on to it. Democrats and Republicans are two sides of the same coin. We've talked about that on here, as you know, Wilbur. I don't think there's a whole lot of difference. They're trapped in a bubble like an alternate reality. Ultra MAGA, ultra white. Sean, in the places I get my information from, it's Salt Army, and if it ain't white, it ain't right. So, pretty much self-identifying as white supremacists, and I don't know. Everybody needs to be careful what they're asking for, because again, it would be so much better for our country to try to be inclusive and at least talk to each other instead of having hate and a lack of knowledge. But fear, hate, and a lack of knowledge are incredible motivators, and especially in political systems. So the idea is to make the water so muddy that you can't see it. The lies are such that you don't have to believe the lie, but it just makes you question what really is the truth. So, and 6 years and 60 million, not one crime has ever been proven against Trump. And I didn't lie, by the way, Sean. I didn't lie at all. I said he's accused. I said he's accused of tampering with elections in Georgia, which he is. I said he's accused of tax evasion in New York State, which he is. He's under investigation for treason. And who you support says more about you than it does about them. Just something to think about. Trump for president 2022. There was a Trump for president 2024 up there ahead. So balancing things out, I guess. Hello, Real Talk. And really, Sean, I'm glad you're here. I welcome opposing views. I would much rather have talks, exchanges again than hostilities. And man, I think those of us that are paying attention, I think we all, no matter what side, feel like hostilities are coming. And I think there are a lot of us that would rather not see that happen. I don't want to see the Air National Guard called out to bomb patriotic Americans who are just misled and have been lied to, and it cost them their lives. Man, I don't want to see. And I was in a chat last night with some pretty intelligent people, and one said, "You know good and well that no soldier's ever going to fire on an American citizen." And I was alive during the 60s, and it's already happened. Kent State. And the discussion evolved into, now, they didn't shoot. If they would have shot on January 6th, if just one person would have shot. Of course, Ashley Babbitt died. She was shot. She was going through the window into the Senate chamber, and had been warned not to do that. White privilege, whatever you want to call it. Nobody's going to do anything to me. Nobody's going to tell me what to do. She's dead. But if the National Guard had shown up, And if one of the National Guard had shot, then they'd all shot, and there'd have been a whole bunch of people dead. And there are those on that right, far right, that are, this is my hill to die on. And make sure you pick your hill wisely, because dying over the lies of someone he was a known liar when he was elected. The only reason he was elected was because Hillary Clinton was hated by everybody. Hated by left, right, and middle, and still won the popular election. She still got more votes than Trump did, but he got more states. He got more electoral votes. Anyway, that's a rehash. I love y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the share. And the 1967 Detroit riots. Yeah, it's and that's the thing that a lot of people in the white community don't know about, the atrocities that have gone on in the Black community. And if they would look at those, they would understand maybe that the feelings, the angst, the anger, the righteous indignation that spurred that Black Lives Matter movement that they made fun of. That was actually righteous. That was actually people really standing up for their rights. And I respect you if you're a white guy and you think you're standing up for your rights. I get that. No disrespect intended. But check the motivation. Check the foundation, what you're standing on. Check into the truth. Look another direction other than the one you've been looking at for the past 6 years, for the good of all of us in the country. I love y'all. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back. I'll probably, let's see. It depends. I'm going to have Apollo's going to be on. We're going to talk to Othel Wallace again coming up sometime here towards the end of the month. And we've got a lot of interesting things. I'd really like to get somebody from the Patriot movement to come on. I've got a couple potential people from the counter protesters. Lori, I'd like to have Lori Arnold on because she's from Indiana. And I saw a news story. She did a one-person protest for months in Goshen, Indiana. And I'd like to talk to her about how she got from Goshen, Indiana to protesting 1776 on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. So if you want to email me, americandufus, all one word, AMERICANDUFUS @gmail.com. And if you'd like to help keep the channel afloat, you can do so through the Cashapp, $ American Doofus, again, all one word. Or my 3 novels are in the description below the video. Latest novel is America, Land of the Greed, Home of the Grave. The story about a group that's trying to take over the United States government and the group that's trying to stop them. It's fitting for these times, possibly. And you never know when crap is going to hit the fan and you're going to be without power for a while. You're going to be without the internet. You're going to be bored. And you might want to read a good book. So buy all 3 of them. Again, seriously, thank you for watching. The most valuable thing you can do, other than, donate a little bit of cash, is hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the share, hit the notification bell. Since we are the underground news, information, and education source, we don't get a lot of ads on here. So if you like what we do, throw $5 our way through the Cash App or in a super chat, as is up there tonight. But we don't talk about that stuff because that's not the focus. The focus is the news, the information, and doing it in such a way as to give you things to think about. Respect, no matter what side you're on. Let's keep talking. Let's keep arguing. Let's keep trying to find common ground, or let's start to find common ground. I love you all. Thank you so very much for watching. We'll be back soon. This is the American Doofus channel. The program's called Late Night America. Our top story was breaking news, shooting at Six Flags in Illinois, and we'll update that and more tomorrow. Again, sincere. Thank you.